Roll for Crit here with a review of the Perfectly Wretched expansion for the Disney Villainous series, which is a game that puts you in the shoes of a Disney villain trying to conquer heroes and reach your goals before other villains are able to. This set comes with three brand new villains for you to play as. Mother Gothel from Tangled, who is attempting to win the trust of Rapunzel in order to win. Cruella DeVil from 101 Dalmatians. She, of course, is attempting to get 99 Dalmatian puppies at the start of one of her turns in order to win. And then there is Pete from Steamboat Willie, and who later made appearances in other Disney media. He has four unique goals that are going to be arranged differently on his board that he's trying to complete over the course of the game for his victory condition. So those are the three that are in here, and of course you can combine this with the original Disney Villainous or even play a 2 or 3 player game just with the contents of this set. Will, what did you think about the villains that you got to see and play as in here? How did you like them?
Yeah, if you're curious on our thoughts in general, how Villainous plays, we'll have a link down below to all our Villainous content that we filmed for the base set. But as for this expansion, I do find these villains to be a bit more interesting. We've first off Mother Gothel. She has a permanent hero in Rapunzel who stays on the board no matter what. You can't defeat her. She just moves around because you need her usually in the leftmost spot to gain trust, while Cruella DeVil is all about gathering all those puppies. And she has her own pile of tokens face down that either are 11s or 22s, and your goal is to get 99 at the start of a turn. Pete, on the other hand, though, is probably my favorite of the bunch. The way he works is he has 4 out of 5 goals that you pick at the start of the game randomly, and you secretly have them face down the board and you're trying to complete them. Now, other players might not be sure which ones you have and may look, okay, he's got a lot of minions on that spot. That could be the minion related goal. It could be A, that is what that goal is. B, it's just coincidence. Or C, you're even bluffing them, which means there's a lot of different mind games you can play with your opponents and make it so the fake cards that they use against you aren't really that bad. I think because of this, he makes it a really fun villain to play as, or even just have someone else play as, because you have to think a bit more when he's at the table.
Yeah, he is really interesting. I got his board over here for you to be able to see it, and we'll put a picture up too. But I really enjoyed playing as him. Easily, I'd say so far at this point, he's my personal favorite to play as. His goals, like you said, are varied and interesting, and depending on where they are, that can change your game up even after the fact that every time you play as a different villain, it's a different experience. This one even more so. And I love that he's a throwback, classic, old school character.
Oh yeah, I'm a sucker for the old black and white cartoon style. It's sort of nice to see them do a little bit of a nod to where Disney really started.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. But I still thought that Mother Gothel and trying to get the puppies, everything for Cruella DeVil, they still added some interesting tweaks and new ideas that aren't just the same old, oh, what do I need? I got to like find some stuff in my deck. There's more variation to it, which I really do appreciate. And I even think this is a pretty good mix. I feel like a couple of these expansions have felt like, oh, there's obviously like there's Scar and then there's a couple other guys. I think this one, maybe some people, this is really subjective, but for me, I thought Cruella DeVil is obviously the big classic, but I think Pete is great. And Tangled, Mother Gothel, not the most iconic villain, but I did like the movie Tangled. So I think this is like a good set, even just for thematic purposes for me.
Yeah, Cruella DeVil is definitely part of that classic Disney villain lineup. I mean, Pete's technically Mickey's
I
villain,
would
but
argue he is, yeah, he should be in there, but he's not like from the what most people these days remember and grew up with necessarily.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't know the exact names, but Disney has something similar to comics have the Silver Age and Golden Age.
Right.
And even though she's on the newer end, Rapunzel is now part of the official Disney princess cast. So it makes sense that her villain should be in Villainous.
So we have a system here for expansion reviews. We say it's either a buy it, try it, or pass. I put up 4 fingers by accident. There's only 3. There's only 3 things. Yeah. So Will, what do you think for you? What would you say this expansion ranks?
Honestly, I'm going to put this in the buy it section, ignoring the fact if you're looking for very specific villains. If you're looking to add to your base set, this one adds some great mechanically interesting villains for you to use.
Yeah, I would agree. This is an easy buy it for myself as well. Obviously, if you're a fan of the original Villainous, then I think the only reason not to buy this would be if you really just aren't interested in any of these three characters thematically. I could see that as an argument. But even if you really didn't, maybe you tried the base Villainous and you really didn't like it that much, I think some of these could possibly, maybe you won't love the game, but they'll steer you a little further in the direction of thinking, oh, there's some potential here. There's some interesting stuff they can do with these mechanics. Unfortunately, I wish I had experienced all of the other Villainous expansions so I could really compare and contrast, because from what I've seen, it seems like they've really evolved things as time has gone on. But certainly, I would feel safe saying this one at least is worth a purchase.
I thought it was best that we start with the most recent Villainous expansion because it's the newest, shiniest one. Because why not? But I know when we first talked about Villainous, when it was announced, we talked about some guys we wish we would have seen in there, but some expansions have come out that have added some of those guys. So with everyone who's now in the game, Jonathan, who would you like to see be added to the Villainous roster?
I think they've covered all of my big ones at this point. I don't know if there's one in particular that I feel that they're lacking. Pete for me was like one that's a pretty cool. You know what? Who I'd like to see? The Mad Doctor from who I think maybe was in some of the cartoons, but I know him from the Super Nintendo game from the 90s, Mickey Mania. Mickey had to fight the Mad Doctor, so that's who I want to see. It's a deep cut.
That'd be interesting. I'm pretty sure they don't have any Pixar, but ignoring that, I think what would be a clever one would actually be the demon from Fantasia.
Oh. I thought you were going to say Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas.
That too. But I mean, Fantasia, I feel, is a bit closer to the core canon, for lack of a better word, of Disney. So
yeah, that would be great. These are good ideas. I hope they take these suggestions.
But let us know who you think the next Disney big bad should be added to the game who hasn't made the cut yet. You can let us know in the comments down below, and let us know if you've played this expansion. Do you think this does add a lot of new complex characters? Is it more the same? Would you put this be the first expansion or the last one to buy out of all the currently Disney Villainous expansions? You can let us know, like I said, in those comments down below. But until then, I'm Will.
I'm Jonathan.
And this has been Roll for Crit. Catch the latest from Roll for Crit by liking and subscribing, and don't forget to support us on Patreon.
Don't get analysis paralysis. Just click those buttons. Help us out.